The Prime Tortoise. We need your live show right now.
Super fast tortoise.
Prime Tortoise.
What is your command, Megatron?
Subscribe for Magic the Gathering and other content for evil fun.
Fear not, Megatron. Cybertron shall remain as you leave it.
Time for 6 games.
Armageddon! Annihilation! White-hot tentacles of doom spit fire! Venom! Screeching! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Ruination! Devastation! Apocalypse now!
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Prime will join us very shortly. So, don't fret. Don't fret. It's not just this ugly face, all right? We're awesome. We might have some other guests on the show today, but according to the thumbnail, we're going to talk about Commander not being the most fun format anymore, and that's kind of tough, especially for someone like me who loves Commander, who loves Limited too, like drafting, sealed, all that fun jazz. Excuse me, I need to take a drink. I got some topical things to talk about. Got some things to go over, but as I'm going to try to waste a little time before I get into that topic. I want to know how you guys are doing. And I want to say hello to people in chat. Yeah. I want to say hello, Johnny. Johnny's there. Johnny's there. Hello. Robert's Table. Welcome. Afternoon to you. Hope you're doing well as well. Recording over the Pokemon, the first movie. Right? That's what we're doing. James, what up? What's up? No, Prime is not going to get rid of that mana crypt. I promise you. He loves it. And what's up, Magic people? Welcome to the crate. Welcome here. Welcome to the show, the Prime Tortoise. The Prime part of the Prime Tortoise will be here in a couple minutes. Yes, I love drafts, but suck at it. Sealed is great though, right? Sealed is primarily a limited format, like draft is, because your pool is limited. It's short packs, why they call it limited, because you don't have the infinite card pool to choose from. You're stuck with the packs that you're given. It's so great. That's why I love my cube so much. And man, it is nuts. It is nuts. Limited is amazing. Doing good just at home from work and relaxing. That's right. You lift up those feet, put them on something, let them air out. Probably stinky from the day, but let the swelling of your feet just diminish. Just relax. Hope you got some hot coffee or some of your favorite beverage to do so. Did I just right? Randy. That's right. Cube makes me Randy. I love Cube. So, in a world, as I'm going to slowly segue into the portion of the show I want to get to the most, I'm going to try to push it until Prime shows up. So, in a world where everything is around Commander, right? Around Commander. The stores have a hard time keeping drafters in. The stores keep having the stores are having a hard time keeping standard afloat, modern afloat, legacy. There's tournaments going on, but not a lot of people showing. The product is selling, but the online community is taking. And the one thing that is right now that is prominent to the Magic the Gathering, which is synonymous to Magic the Gathering. Once what used to be the quirky, weird format is now the entry level way into Magic the Gathering. That is Commander. Hey, Billy! Hello! In Discord, I sent you a link if you want to jump on. You don't have to. I mean, this is Commander. I know you don't do a lot with Commander, but the opportunity is there if you do. So, Commander is now the one thing people know of as Magic the Gathering. When they think Commander, they don't. When people think Magic the Gathering, they think Commander. They don't think Standard. They don't think Modern. They don't think Legacy anymore. I mean, people are aware of those formats, but you're not going to entry level a person to Legacy and Modern. The decks cost like $700. So does Commander now. Like my cheapest deck used to be $100 and something. Is worth like $300 now because of the value has gone up in that deck particularly, surprisingly. So the entry level into Magic the Gathering for Commander has actually gone up. As prices of cards gone down, deck prices actually have kind of gone up to even out the difference. Oh, Mrs. Hillbilly, hello. The last 2-3 years, I have seen an increase in a format called pre-modern. Interesting. I have not heard of pre-modern. Well, I've heard of pre-modern. Haven't looked into it. I'm assuming it's like modern and legacy. Probably like a legacy light format. Where it's legacy, but not as deep. That's my assumption. That's not fact. So, as I'm getting into this topic, like we talk about the market prices of cards going down, collectabilities going down, right? When you step into Commander, when you step into the base game, you want to build a 100-card deck. Oh, we have Mr. Hillbilly. He'll show up when he shows up. He was there. I saw him. Now he's ghost. Ooh. Yeah, I'm kidding. So a 100-card deck, the average card costs like $3. Hello, Hillbilly. What's up? What's up? What's up? Alright, so as I was saying, the average card in a Commander deck costs about $3. Sure you can get 50-cent cards, get higher price cards, but we're just going to average around $300, $3 a card. 100 cards, $300. That's kind of what you're evening or averaging out the base of a Commander deck nowadays. $300 is an investment like Warhammer, and it's kind of pushing up that way. So I want to say, damn. Remember, getting into Standard used to be like a $60 to $70-ish thing, except when you had dual lands in the format. It's like Ravnica lands, $10 a piece. So the entry level point of Commander has gone up. And it's surprising. It's surprising. Wow. Welcome. Hey, Johnny and chat. How are y'all doing? Doing pretty good. I see that's you. Welcome to the Bearded Wednesday live stream. That's right. Even though Prime will show up and he'll probably be clean shaven. But
yeah, Prime needs to get into the Bearded Club.
Right. So as my starting point to this conversation about Commander is not the fun format anymore, his entry level is pretty steep for someone who doesn't want to invest into a game. $300, man. Think about what you could buy at $300. That's a date night, and a really good date night too. And what is it? That's a couple figurines off the shelf here, a toy collector, for sure.
It ain't no McDonald's date either.
No. Oh no. You're going to Texas Roadhouse and having some drinks. Probably getting a little tipsy there.
So,
Hey,
zombie.
Woo. The volume of buffering. What's up? What's up? What's up? Smash a leg. I hope the audio fixes for you. So as the point of the entry level being big, and we know you can buy lots of different things for $300, and now I understand the cost of living has gone up too. So, you know, I'm not talking about food, but $300 can fill a refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, in the recession that we're in, it's kind of tough. But like for someone like me, because I know you don't buy a lot of cardboard yourself, Billy. But for someone like me who has decks to go on the ready for Commander, you know, I am past the entry level. And one of the things I want to get to is Commander used to not be the entry level format to get into when entering the Magic the Gathering scene. I remember people would get introduced into Standard. And Standard was the flagship. You know, buy the new product, get good cards, build a good deck, go to F&M's, if that even exists anymore. I'm kidding. I know there's F&M's, but there's been a decrease in the amount of people who go to F&M's. The player base got salty. There's a lot of issues with LGSs, which has been discussed across the community altogether. Ooh. See what James has to say. A $300 date night. I would hope it ends with a little brown chicka brown cow, right? You know, that's like an anniversary date night. That's what I'm saying. You know, that's good money. But like, so with Commander being the entry level thing, and as a target, because I like throwing rocks at it, doesn't mean it's going to be true for every set that comes out. But we look at Commander Masters being an expensive set as it is. Not saying every set's going to be that expensive going on. As Commander Masters is, we're looking at a product that does try to target newer players because it is really the entry-level format for people to get into. So if someone gets in Commander and they hear about Commander Masters and look at the price of the packs and they are a noob, they're not going to know what card's worth money. And it ain't about the money, it's about the playability. You know what I'm saying? So money is, because we're not going to focus on the lottery ticket cards. We're just going to focus on the price being what they are. And to a noob player, that's really something you don't have to ponder about before just forking out the money to buy a pack of cards. I mean, I'd be like, well, is there anything worth it? If I don't know the set, is there anything good? Is there going to be anything good for my deck? Excuse me. Ooh, that's tough. So, the question is, what changed? And like what I was saying, what changed for Commander is Commander used to be an opt-in format. People would opt into Commander when they got tired of the relentlessness of Standard or the common ground that people get in, because F&M is about being competitive. And there were nights that shifted, but F&M's nights shifted based on when real heavy tournaments played. Because people would play casual here and there. Then you got this RPTQ coming up, and people would bring their decks to play test for that were standard versions, and they'd go hard on people. Noobs alike. It was all about those rankings and winnings, and seeing how well your deck played against different formats and rogue decks. So F&M was an opt-in set or format. Like, people would opt in to play. They'd choose to play Commander as an outlet to have more of a relaxing game and test synergies. They would wait for obscure cards to hit the end of the rotation to drop down in value and play with them. I mean, there were cards in in formats that are now like Commander staples or Commander cards that were just too expensive for standard play, and they were too expensive for aggressive tournament style decks. But in Commander, they just hit a sweet spot. And one card to think about that people would be crazy to skip was the Green Praetor. What's his name? Vorinclex, yeah. The guy who tapped all your opponent's mana down and gave you extra mana on his turn. He was too expensive for a standard format back in the day. And in Commander, he was a perfectly well-balanced, rough to deal with Commander card. Yeah. And let's see.
Yeah, you're talking about a new player, though. A new player comes into the game, and they'll get a nickel card and think, "Oh man, this card is the bomb."
Right.
And it's not really be a bomb.
Right. Like I had my nephew one time ask me if a foil card was expensive, and it was just a 25-cent jank card, and I felt bad because he was a kid. I tell him that's not worth money. And this is him finding out that his dad had a freaking dual land from back in the day, and I'm like, this is like a $300 card. And this guy's trying to hit gold. I'm like, oh, I feel bad telling this guy the truth. All right, so James says Commander decks that are released by WotC are a pretty decent start point for the price of decks, and you are not wrong. But I actually got a counter to that. I got a counter to that. And yes, the $80 ones are pretty good for the price point. But the counter to those starting point decks is the table that you play at anymore is online. There's not a lot of in-store playing anymore. And for those people for the people who go to the stores and have a play group, they try to stay within range. But like my best feeling is because twice has happened to me, and in my favor too, it happened, where I accidentally pub stomped the table because my decks were too powerful. And one time, these decks weren't too powerful; they just been honed in. And for a new player to go against something like that, because it's hard to judge when your deck's going to do good or go broken, basically. But for a new player to get pub stomped makes me feel bad. Like one time I was on DJ Stream and I played my Jurassic Park deck and I just pub stomped with my dinosaurs, not intentionally pub stomping, but I did, and I was feeling guilty more than I was happy. I was feeling bad more than I felt like celebrating. I was just in that moment where I'm like, where is this fun for everyone? You know, because Commander used to be a rock, paper, scissors format where everybody would play the spell, they reacted to the spell, they did something, it was rock, paper, scissors to see who got on top. This got to a point where I collapsed everybody down and got them in a spot where they couldn't react and flooded the board, and it was not great for them. Insurrection, prime example as well. Yeah, Insurrection is really good. And I'm gonna get to the next comments. I think they're fine, James. Honestly, being said, there's room for them to drop to 20. Yep, agreed. That's exactly why deck release should come with redemption cards for it. That'd be nice. And thinking of nice, I'm thinking of shiny. I don't know how to say this, but while we're chatting, you should.
My fellow Decepticons, hit that like button for my sake.
Prime!
Ooh!
What's up, Prime?
There's a guy. While you were setting up and everything, were you listening to the conversation?
No, I had a phone call.
Well, excuse you for being popular. I'm kidding. There's probably something dealing with work. So what I'm getting at is one of the things that teeter a lot with a lot of games is the power levels are hard to get. where, if, like, before I get too far into this idea, but like the thing I want to get at is the power creep has been so real, where CEDH and Casual Commander has an area where the lines blur, and the blurry line has actually gotten wider, where the blurriness between the two get in there. Now I know CEDH has a certain point that starts and wants to win by a certain time, and just gets better from there on. But Casual Commander, like, it's getting crazy when you're winning by turn 6, and that's the casual format. Now, that doesn't seem great when you have 100 cards and you get through like 9 full 20 of them before you go off. All right. Let's see, what's this? Yep, it happens super fast. Sometimes it sucks, but when it is what it is. Commander deck power level is highly subjective. My power 5 may be a 9 in your eyes. Probably. Oh, stop that button. So Prime, what are you telling me is I can get the Metacrypt? That's funny. Prime. So what are you telling me is I can't get the Metacrypt. No. So
Nope.
yes, I'm selling a crypt sometime soon. Nice, Robert. Pretty neat. So all right, let me read this comment. All right, so another thing I want to mention is Commander has developed for the format that exceeds the card market pretty well now, which is good for WotC's end, but it's harder on the market, so the values of certain cards are actually going up. And I'm surprised what cards are worth money now, right? There are cards that are worth money, even though there's a lot of cards not worth money. And by what I'm saying worth money, I'm talking about over $10 a card. $8 up goes in that list, because if you're filling up let's say in a Commander deck, you're doing like 60 non-mine cards average, you're looking at $3 up a card. $8 now is money card to me, because that's a lot of money. Because like $1 for each card would be $60 or $64 in most decks I build, right? So $3 per deck, that adds up. Like if I add that up, let me get my calculator.
None of my standard decks are standard legal anymore.
Ooh, right? So $3 a card for 64 cards is $192. Boom. That's about average. Now that's not including the lands, but I'm kind of soaking up that price of lands in the deck, because some cards are like 50 cents, some cards are like $1, but when you average out $300 for 64 cards, that's about the average for the low end. Especially when most people create 3-color decks. You need that mana fixing, you need the ramp, you need the draw. No matter where you are, even if you're in a color without mana fixing, you need the draw in that color. Which is why white's been getting so much support, because mono white decks never had that support for a while, but now they're getting a good amount of it. But the Commander following is so huge that releasing to the Commander market is actually tough. And the price inflates on certain things, the price drops on anything. Which brings me to my third note is Commander used to be like the shit. Like, he used to be amazing. And it was amazing because you had early nostalgia. Because there are some cards you got to play, you haven't played them for a while because there was no format to play them in. And I'm talking about like early 2020, well, this is like 2009 for me. 2012, got to play this card formats that I haven't got to play for years. When Commander came along, that I could play them and try out new things with old cards, and which is still part of the case with Commander nowadays. But now a lot of these old cards are becoming weak in the eyes of the power creep. I mean, we're at a level where I think Reoccurring Nightmare can be unbanned from Commander now. Ooh. Hello. I went to. I used the 2 EDH power level calculator. It's my monitored Orathon and 3.4.2 my Zelfa Grixis and 6. Nice. It's pretty decent, actually. I use those numbers as the base level. Yeah. Yeah, use those numbers as the base level, right? So, as we continue, Prime is probably still on a phone call right now, so. Nostalgia used to be a big thing. I mean, Ravnica is my favorite set. Like the original Ravnica, when Commander came out, I got to play with those original Ravnica cards. In fact, Momer Vig, Simic Visionary, used to be powerhouse as a Simic Commander back then. Now he's something that's easy to deal with, but it was fun. But now those type of cards are just crazy. I see that lotus petal in your hand.
Yep.
Is that a deck?
Yeah.
What about that deck now you wanted to show us?
This used to be my favorite deck, but it's not standard legal now no more.
Lotus petal probably hasn't been standard legal in 20 years.
Yeah. Heck, this card ain't even standard legal.
No, but that's a fun card, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
It's a basic standard deck, but can't play it anymore because it's not standard legal no more.
Right, and that's why Commander was. Well, that's one of the reasons why Commander was an appeal for people who've been playing the game. Is they had a favorite card and they had a weird janky combo or something they wanted to play, something that they could take from their history and bring in to light and play over and over again in Commander. Some combos are not as strong, but some cards were just someone's pet card. Like my pet card in most decks I put in is Unexpected Results. Awesome card.
I've had that deck so long you can't make out the picture on the deck box.
Woo-hoo. James, that was a big old kitty cat. He's talking about your Johnny. I don't know who that anime girl is.
I don't either.
But what I also want to jump into is one of the things I want to bring up is, you remember, chat, do you remember when you'd wait for cards to rotate out of standard for the prices would drop so you can get that sick card for your Commander deck? Well, we don't have that anymore. We don't. Standard's not doing well enough to keep the price of a card going, and Commander being the main staple format, that drives the price right now. Now.
Are you talking about rotation?
Yep.
Now rotation don't happen but every 3 years.
Right.
Because like right now on Arena, I go up against werewolves a lot. And that was getting ready to rotate out this September. Now I gotta deal with them for another freaking year.
Right. That was the nice thing about Standard having a low rotation or early rotation back in the day. And that's what was good for Commander. But now Standard is having a hard time keeping up in cardboard, that they're trying to draw people into Standard by making it more similar to Commander with a long living lifespan. Because you don't want to spend like $400 on a deck, then just be out in a couple months. It feels to me that the competitive scene is thriving the way it used to, and people don't want to spend the money on cards that they're only going to be able to use prematurely for a few months, even if it's like a year, so it's the investment line that's really pushing forward here. The investment line is where do I invest to play the game, and where am I going to get my money's worth when it comes to the amount of time I get to play at the game. Hence why Commander was an amazing format from the beginning, and now is a tough format because it's not like what it used to be, and it's never going to be like what it once was. But now it's the primary format that people step into, and it's really driving a lot of the choices Wizards makes. I mean, think about this. We still get like 3 standard sets a year, sometimes a little more, like 4, maybe 5.
It's going to be more of this now since rotation changed.
Right? But like we used to get a few sets a year, and now we get a lot of reprint sets in between somehow. Like even if it's like a secret lair, or maybe like a special collection, or it's a reprint set. You know, there's more reprints throughout the year, technically, than we get standard sets anymore. Which secret layers don't hinder the price of too many cards all the time, but it can. And I've seen the case of a Blight still dropping a couple times just secret layers. So it is an untrusting market when it comes to collectors. But for players, hooray! I can afford a Blight still now. And the question is how good is Blight still in your deck? You know, where like we come to a level where people play 11 mana costed Blightsteel, and their opponent has 1 open plains, you know, exiles it. Maybe 2. You know, so many ways to exile. And the feeling of, oh, I pulled something off has kind of left Commander, because the rock, paper, scissors format has become less rock, paper, scissors and more cutthroat, from what I've noticed. Like, especially on spell tables, become more cutthroat. I can play this. I want to protect my synergy. Let's remove your side of the board. It's like one of the things I had to work with, because I built decks that weren't competitive to what the Commander market was for playing, and I ended up having to upgrade them. And luckily, I had friends like you guys who helped upgrade my decks, help me get cards for the decks to go up. And the board wipes in my dinosaur deck, my Joda Archmage Eternal deck, are all one-sided board wipes, and that's because in the colors I run, I can't run too many removal spells. I have to rely on one-sided board wipes like Plague Wind, Ingrick's Wake, Ruinous Ultimatum, to make my deck even compatible for the format. And that's where the power creep has gone at. I think Commander should follow the point system like how Canadian Highlander Commander format, where Black Lotus and the Mox is right. That'd be an interesting way to do it. That's a Warhammer way of thinking about it. And that's all. Yeah, you're right with Canadian Highlander, how that is. You know, I don't play Canadian Highlander, but I've seen play on a Loading Ready Run. And that's a good format. I seem to talk about it. That's a good way to do it. But then how do you point every card, over hundreds of cards, for a format that's as diverse? Then does it become, at the point system, does it become the highly competitive format that Highlander is? Or does it become the jank format? You know, because they can't price cards at points where you can only run it and you won't have a full deck. That's the tough part. How Arena won't allow Commander to be a format, even though they could create a Commander format for Arena that's based on the cards already in the format already, but they don't want to have to go through the rules programming of all the cards from different formats before. That's billions of cards now, literally billions, but you know, tons of cards to keep up with. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? So one thing I want to step into, and don't get me wrong, I'm not being negative about the format itself. I'm just trying to highlight things that make the game tough for newer players. Which, one thing I want to bring up, because it's honestly how I feel about one thing that was said that people have made fun of or repeated, it's come true. When WotC said, engage with the product that you only want to engage with, for me, and it should to every Commander player, should feel like a slap in the face from WotC. because engage with the product you want to engage with. Now, I know you don't have to buy every product out there. You can just buy the singles you want, watch the prices drop to grab the singles you can afford. But see, standard players and people who only play standard only have to care about standard rotating sets. Modern players kind of keep an eye on all standard sets that come up, and legacy players are kind of in the same boat as commander players, but they're different because, you know, only certain cards work in their format. Where commander, you can try to work anything in your format and play it. So when WotC said engage with the product that you only want to engage with, was a slap to the commander player's face. Because anybody who's like diehard commander player who wants to keep their decks updated, someone who wants to keep their decks in the now, you have to pay attention to every set that comes out, because you never know when Watts is going to put a commander staple in some block or some ancillary product or some secret layer as something new that you're going to have to get. Because if WotC comes out with a card that's really powerful and unique, you have to base your deck against that and that power level of the card to wonder if you have to make modifications to go against it, because that's going to be the new thing. Now, luckily, the commander base players haven't been salty as much, because like we have Tegrid as a salty commander, and I haven't played a lot against Tegrid, but that's a very salty commander. I've seen it in the 99 more than he has a commander decks. But damn, one mishap will change the world, and you can't just ban every card. I mean, they ban certain cards, but if they come out with a ramp spell that's just a click faster than your regular ramp spell, you're going to want to know about that. You're going to want to engage in that ideology. You're like this costs 2, this new one costs 1. I want that one because it does the same thing. You know, you never know when something like that's going to happen. Now, engage with the product you want to engage with, but we're commander players are stuck in spoiler seasons all the time because we have to know what card's going to displace our entire deck, or what card's going to enhance our deck. You know, that's where we are. That's why we get overwhelmed with spoiler season. It's not because we're going to buy the product. It's because we feel like we need to know what the competition is going to be like, or what the help is going to be. Hey, boo, boo. Let's keep up. It's a good point. It's a good point list. They update some of your. You're talking about the point list. That's pretty good. Bonus subsets. Yeah. So, you know, when they say engage with the sets you want to engage with, fine. That's fine. But what the slap is, as a commander players, we have to pay attention to every set just in case something stupid comes along, and we have to accommodate our play styles and decks to go around it, or accumulate it into the strategy. You know, crazy how it is. Ooh. Now, some people, I'm about to bring up a hot topic, but it's something I don't hate. But I think WotC realizes it, and they're being weird with it. Like, WotC themselves are being weird with it, and it's because they're testing waters. They're testing the waters to see how much money they can scrub from players, but they're doing something good for us in general, which is bad for the collector. And I feel bad for the collector because the bricks of gold that Wizards is printing are no longer bricks of gold. I make a reference to this old movie about the golden egg-laying goose, but the reference would be too steep and you exactly know what I'm talking about to get at. But people complain about reprint sets, but the truth is that if WotC wants newer players to join the market, they have to keep prices of singles at a fair value amount for newer players to jump in. So hooray for the cheaper prices on cards.
Yeah, but what about the sealed prices, though? The sealed prices ain't cheap.
That's what I'm getting at. That's one of the things I'm getting at. And I'm glad you chimed in. So we got the secondary market being controlled by WotC with the amount of reprints it makes.
No, we control the secondary market, not WotC.
We do, but the more they reprint cards, the lower the prices go because no one wants to pay more money for a card they can get cheaper somewhere else. It's a two-ended stick here. Because like I can't disagree with you because you're right, but I'm right because the more cards in the market, the less valuable a card's staying power has if it's priced too high for the amount of cards you can get. And that's just talking about the reprints and continued reprints. And I'm not saying all the cards are going to be like this.
That's a can of worms, buddy. Because then you start looking at stuff like, why in the hell did Urza need so many back-to-back prints? Why does Doubling Season need back-to-back prints? Why does Great Henge need back-to-back prints? Right?
That's definitely a tough issue. I told you it's a hot button topic right there. They don't.
Now you got me going.
That's good. I like it when you interact, but I just didn't know how long you were on the phone.
I had a conversation with somebody last night. Here's the best thing, right? Let's take this engage with the product you want to engage with further.
Right?
How about buy cards when you actually need them?
Yeah, right.
Not when you want them, but when you need them, right? So it's like, oh, am I going to go spend $180 on a Mana Crypt right now? Probably not. I don't really need it. That was more of a want. That was more of me trying to pick some up before they got reprinted type thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. So I am not. What I'm saying, what I've been saying, is not negating what you're saying because.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And I want
to set the premise. It's two different points, you know. Two sides of the same coin type shit.
Right. Because like what I was saying, and I must not enunciate. What I must highlight here is that engage with the product you want to engage with. Well, we're stuck. I said we were stuck looking at spoilers because we were looking to know if we need to worry about a big card that's going to change the format, or if a card is going to upgrade our decks, even if we just buy the singles, right? The WotC already knows we're engaged, no matter what. As Commander players, we are engaged in the spoiler seasons, even if we disagree with the spoilers. Like, that's the sad thing. You know, now what I was getting at is WotC when they reprint things, and I'm about to bring up something else that comes up with the reprint, the back-to-back reprints. Because WotC's been trying to, like, what WotC's been doing is been trying to control the secondary market price to keep lower. Now, on purpose? I don't know. They're probably just trying to make tons of money, especially with Commander Masters being so expensive. I've been actually following different Facebook groups and other things dealing with Commander Masters, and it looks like prices of product are dropping because no one wants to buy an expensive set. I don't know if you noticed that, or I don't know how far that reach has gone out, but people are watching the value of the Commander Master set kind of drop and diminish a little because no one's just snacking out. No one's been like,
oh, why would you? Okay, here's the thing. Why would you spend that much money for your top hit to be Doubling Season when you can just try it in a month in Wilds of Eldraine?
Right.
You spend half the money.
Well, the answer is simple. You want to get Talrand, this guy somewhere. That 50-cent card worth $12 a pack.
Well, soon Urza's going to be that way if they keep doing that to him.
Right. Let's see.
There's no need for that.
No. There's definitely no. Like, even for who wants a Doubling Season in the future, I was even shocked that they reprinted Doubling Season so fast. I'm like, that makes no sense. All right. Let's see.
You know where the One Ring card is now, don't you?
Yeah, Posty Maloney has it. I'm waiting for the Tricolored Guild Gates. That'd be neat. The collector value is going to be in graded cards and reserve list cards. That is for sure. Are you suggesting that WotC prints too many cards? What? So,
too many reprints.
well, I think I could be completely wrong on WotC's end, but I think what they're doing is they're printing cards to be more of a fair price on the secondary market. Only because newer players will want to jump in and get those fancy cards when they come in as young players who want to start investing more money. I could be wrong on their motive here, but same time, Prime is right. Why do you need to reprint doubling threes in 3 sets in a row or smothering ties 3 sets in a row? I get that. Now, my comments about the prices of the secondary market dropping is definitely not about collector value, not about sales value, because WotC is diminishing sales value. But my topic is not about sales value. Sales value is a whole different budget. Maybe next week's topic.
I think they just need to let the cards breathe a little bit.
That's very true. Oh, yeah, Billy.
That too, yeah. There's just okay. So I looked at it again last night.
Right.
Before Double Masters, same time frame, about almost 2 years. So it's 18 to 24 months. Okay.
Right.
Before Double Masters, there was only 3 reprint sets. Since Double Masters to current day, there's been 6.
Right.
So the previous 24 months, we had 3. The last
Right.
18 months, we've had 6.
Let the cards. I think they should let the cards breathe a little bit before they reprint.
Right. Well, because what happens the day they make a card that tanks the value, like a new card, that tanks the value of doubling season because it does near this damn same thing and costs cheaper.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that.
You'd think so.
I don't put nothing past WotC.
I agree with Hillbilly there. If they think they can make a buck, then I think they'll do it. But good points though. If they are printing to fix secondary values to be affordable, that is rigging the system. I cannot disagree with you. But based off what we know, they care about the new people coming in. They care about the longevity of 4 years that the new people stay in and how much product they buy. And during that product, they're going to buy singles. And the longer they stay in the game, they have to find a balance. Now, I don't know how well WotC at all thinks about this stuff. Right? Maybe I'm diving into a deep end here, and I'm making excuses for WotC to why they reprint things like they do. They're mad, like honestly, mad. You know, I'm trying to make sense of it because what's happening is Commander is no longer the fun format. It's the entry-level format that you're supposed to find ways to make it fun. I mean, no diss on anybody else who's created their own format, but it's a sad story when people start trying to create new formats because the game is not fun for them as it is. Now, I like Commander Raids, great format, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, when you feel like you have to create something different to enjoy the thing you love, that's where you should start paying attention to what you're not liking about the format you want. Like my wife got into the game and she started hating the game because of the saltiness of players at FNM. Yeah, the way people treat them, over competitiveness, and that dragged down to the home life of Commander play because she'd play Commander and she'd have those built-up emotions from FNM, and if she lost, she'd feel even worse about it because all those old emotions from FNM came back, and she'd relate the two, even though they're 2 different formats.
That's also one reason why when I play Arena, I don't play meta decks.
Right.
Because I feel like, you know, I make this deck. My deck is strong. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of my deck. My deck. Whoa, what just happened? My screen just went dark.
Right.
We can still see you. That's good.
Yeah, I see you.
My computer screen went dark. But yeah, like I was trying to say is, all my arena decks I've made myself, and I can actually say I did not net deck off somebody else. I'm proud of my decks, whether they do good or whether they don't.
Right.
I do not play the meta. I do not play the meta decks because they're too strong.
Right.
I refuse to play them against my viewers.
That makes sense. WotC said themselves that if a card is too expensive, they aren't doing their job right. That is very true, Time Capsule. So that does kind of support my idea. Not full-heartedly supports my idea, but it definitely leans in that they care about the secondary market. Remember, it started with Teferi Core 21 and the ridiculous amount of versions. Yeah. That's one of the things that make me wonder if they're trying to attack the secondary market. Is not only do they print like a new card or a reprint, and they make like 5 different versions, so you have chances to pull more of this card out in different sets, especially the more expensive packs. You never know. You never know. Like, you guys are starting to make me sound a little smart. I don't think I'm that smart. That's why I have Prime here. He puts me in my place.
You know, they're only making 1 Planeswalker per set now.
Which I find ridiculous.
Yeah, that'll fix shit. Because that's
Right.
the problem. That's the problem, all right.
And they're also, from what I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but they're also trimming down on the, I believe the mythics or rares, something like that. One of them.
Well, they're learning the lesson, or who knows? I just don't understand. Like trimming the mythics and rares in a set might be a good idea. Making it harder for those cards to be pulled, which would be good for the collector in the long run, and good for the value of the cards. But I don't understand the 1 Planeswalker per set. That just gets to my bipolarness and my things. It's like, what?
Well, if you go there, I mean, if you think about it, though, the lore, all the Planeswalkers lost their spark.
A lot of them, not all of them. Like, I don't know, like, Johnny still has the spark.
They don't know where Johnny's. They never haven't talked about Johnny.
We don't know where Jace is either. I don't even know if he has his spark or not.
Right.
Legendary card. What's that? Remember it started with Teferi Core 21 and a ridiculous amount of versions. Legendary card. All right. I have thought the variations of regular release in the WotC way of doing the secret layer in every release, right? That's what it felt like. It felt with the different variations. It felt like they were implementing the excitement of secret layers in the set, especially when you have like versions of Elish, Norn. I don't know, but I don't want to be too negative because I'm not about that. But I just want to talk about my points, and we covered all of them. In fact, accidentally we covered a bunch of my notes here, just talking with each other. And Prime being smart and kept making me get to things to see. They're cutting down the legendary card type. Nice. That's good. That's hindering. That kind of hinders the game too, especially for standard format. Because I remember that issue with the original Kamigawa block.
And also this month they're going to be WotC's going to ban some standard cards. Instead of having that, since they got rid of that rotation, they're going to start banning cards once a year. Around this time.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Standard people buy packs for it, and if they pull a card that's banned, they're gonna feel crappy.
Yep. Exactly.
We just had like a couple years ago. We just had a whole set like that. It's called
Right.
Throne of Eldraine.
Throne of Eldraine.
Like 5 cards get banned before that shit was even out.
No, one card got banned before the set was out. Then within a month or so of the set being released, they banned like Oko and a couple other cards.
Oko needed to be banned.
Wait, no. I'm not thinking. No. I don't know if any cards got banned before Thrones of Eldraine. When I said one card got banned before, I was thinking of Ikoria when they banned the Otter Pop from Commander. So I don't know. I know Oko got banned, and Oko still holds a pretty decent price range for being a banned card. He must be good.
That's because he's legal in Commander, not he got banned in Standard. That doesn't do anything if you're popular in Commander. Commander didn't ban him because it's easier to deal with.
Hogak did get banned. Hogak got banned. Yeah, early in Throne of Eldraine. because they were playtesting a modern and it just broke the format. Spicy. Spicy. I see it. I feel it. I know it. I believe it. Man, I'm glad you guys are here to remind me of things. I mean, all right. So that's the end of the subject, and we got like a few minutes left. Do you guys enjoy the show? Do you guys in chat enjoy the topic? Do you think I covered it well? I mean, I tried being prepared as possible with everything in line. I'm curious to know how I held up. And thank you, Prime, for showing up and being awesome. Same with you, Mr. Hillbilly. A Courier Dorian got banned as a companion in format. Yeah, the otter pop.
They shouldn't. No, Yorion's the sky snake.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lutri is the otter.
Lutri got banned before the release. The other one got banned after.
When Yorion was in standard, you could have a 80 card deck. And when you play Yorion, it blinks something off the battlefield.
And it allows you to have you have to have like 80 cards or something.
80 cards?
Yeah. You gotta have 80 cards. 80 card deck and standard.
James is telling you to grow a damn beard, Prime.
No.
Yeah, Prime, you need to join the beard club.
I have to shave mine.
It's kind of funny you said that because no one can see your face anyways. Because you're streaming off your phone.
Yup. So I'm getting ready to go back to work.
Really? You just got done working today.
Uh-huh.
Dang.
How many overnights are you working?
No overnights. I just got to go in for a couple hours and finish some shit and help somebody.
Well, that's nice. That's not a full night. Sucks he stopped going, but it's nice it's only a few hours.
Yeah.
Mine's probably bigger than Tortoise's.
Your beard? Oh, it is. My wife won't let me grow mine out long. James, yours is a bit short. Mine is almost to my belly button. Nice.
I'm working on growing mine.
My wife won't let me. I try.
Cool. Now I just see James. James is just a gnome now.
Right? I've seen a picture of James. Big burly shoulders. Now, and he's like shaped kind of like a gnome, but like a tall gnome. So now he just needs to get like a green pointy hat with a little bulb at the end. You know, and just stand like this. Shake his. He gets mad.
So he's a dwarf. Okay. He's grumpy. Okay, I get it.
Thank you, Mrs. Hillbilly. I appreciate that 100%. Well, you look like a dwarf. Like at a distance. I mean, James is tall. Tall with a cane in his hand. He's dangerous.
More like a handicapped dwarf. See? What I was seeing in my brain was right. All I see is like Grumpy from Snow White or something.
Right. Oh man, you guys are funny. Anyway.
Tortoise is definitely dopey, and Hillbilly is Doc.
Doc. What?
I mean, what?
He's just mad you're not getting rid of your mana crypt.
No. I'm only 5'8". Bitch, I'm 6'2".
You're the same height as I am, James.
I'm shorter than you, then. I'm 5'7".
By an inch.
Yeah.
He's a little person.
Not a person.
I'm taller than all y'all.
I'm a wee little guy.
You're a string bean giant against us all.
I am sneezy. I could totally be sneezy.
I'm just a wee little guy.
Short people. Wee little guy. Yes. Short little people. And SpongeBob roams around. Yay! All right, everybody. I got to close out the stream. Thank you for showing us a good time. Thank you for tagging along. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for liking the video. New people, thank you for subscribing. But man, you guys have an amazing day today. Have fun. Be awesome. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Peace.
Goodbye.
You look terrible. All white and tired and old.